What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Beyond the Veil. Today, we got a whole fucking team of people to talk and to hear some stories about. We got the big and funky crew from Wrestling with Ghosts. How you guys doing?
Man, we funky today,
Fantastic.
baby. Oh my goodness.
That's
We
awesome.
just let me show you this picture of this girl.
Well, no, stop with the
No,
picture. No,
stop.
don't.
No.
But
no.
it's just real quick. We can just take a
No,
look.
don't.
No.
Okay. So before we get into any of the stories and any of the experiences that we got, I'd like to have everybody give a formal introduction of yourself. We're gonna start with Vinny and then work our way down to Amber and Luke. Oh, we got Kandi popped in.
Oh, candy. Delicious candy. Let me show you this picture of a girl we know.
Would you stop it?
Oh no. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna introduce ourselves. Vinny, what you got for us, man?
My name is Vinny. And I am funky. And I like money. Give me some. Roll call. Luke, your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Hey, babies. My name is Big Luke. I am a former pro wrestler, former police officer. Oh, everybody's got a drink. If I mention that I used to be a cop, you have to drink. And paranormal investigator, movie maker, filmmaker,
Ball buster.
ball buster. I got a bunch of kids that I don't know about. And right now I'm a musician, and I'm going to give that up for Lent. And then Kandi disappeared on us.
Yeah.
But we're a bunch of just butt nuts. We are a happy group. We don't like to do the negative stuff. We also don't take. We have a theory that we don't take. We take things very seriously by not taking things seriously at all.
It's a good concept to have. That's awesome. You're a man of many hats. I respect it. Thank you.
Not as cool. Not as cool as Funk's hat though.
When you got
Very
this
cool.
hat, baby, you only need one.
All right, Amber,
Good
would you
God.
like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name's Amber. I am the cat wrangler of Big and Funky. I keep everybody kind of together. I also do cinematography, paranormal investigation, acting, pretty much anything that needs to be done behind the scenes. They task me to do. I get it done.
Handies.
And I am yes. I'm really
Katie.
good at those. And I'm currently a musician, and I teach music, and I also do advocacy work. So
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Woman of many hats. It's awesome. But not like Vinny's, because Vinny's got that
Yeah.
devil hat.
She's also got that fibromyalgia, and she
I
takes
do.
those weird Xanax pills all the time. I don't think they're even prescribed to her. I think she buys them at the truck stop from Vinny's mom.
Oh God.
How do you think I pay for them?
Okay.
And I think Kandi had to back out because she lives in Tabor City, North Carolina or South Carolina or something like that, where they still don't, they run off of Atari 2600s. They don't even have computers. So
Smoke
Well,
signal.
they call that place Razor City. She probably got shot as she was. It's a very tough town. Now let me show you this picture of this lady.
Oh,
would you
no.
stop with the picture?
No.
This is my
Don't
wife.
do it. Don't.
She's
Oh.
a very lovely woman, and she wants to say hello to everybody. So
Hello. All right.
Oh my
All right.
God.
So we're gonna start off and just basic question. When did you guys get together as a group and start doing what you guys do now?
It's been an evolving process. Like me and Vinny met at a wrestling show about a little over 10 years ago. I was this big enforcer, bad guy, and I'm out there not knowing what to expect. I had just come off of being a police officer. Everybody drink. And I was just getting back into pro wrestling, and we were in a town, I think it was called Wartburg, Tennessee. And, it was a bunch of kids, and I'm out there just being, Mr. Mean Guy. And then all of a sudden I hear, coming out of a different locker room, because, the bad guys on one side, good guys on the other side, I hear this funk music playing. What is funk? And I'm like, all right, what's going on here? And then this beautiful woman, rest her soul, walks out of opens that locker room door, and then walks a 6-foot man with a 3-foot afro wig on that had Christmas lights in it and a mink coat and a Harlem Globetrotters uniform. And I said, that is my best friend.
It was funny, man, because it was like in the locker room, he kept smiling at me, and I was like, yeah.
And then, the first time I talked to him was after the show in the bathroom, and he's like, "Yeah, man, cool, all right, yeah, you want to ship me?" And but no, we got together and we met Travis, who come on a little bit later.
Okay, there you go. You're back. Yeah. Oh, you went away for a minute.
Yeah. Then we met Travis at Bubba Gump's in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we, kind of hit it off with him because we were looking for like a younger member, a younger guy to kind of join our tomfoolery because we needed that part. We were a comedy wrestling team, and we kind of needed like a mentee, a kid that would. And then we got into paranormal stuff because we met this dork also at Bubba Gump's that was from Kingsport.
You left out a great part of our story, I think, our lexicon. So
the gay stuff, yeah.
Well, I mean, I was against it. And then I was like, but the Bible. And you were like, the Bible don't exist.
No, that was
in this
me.
room.
Bible.
And then you took it away. And then it disintegrated. You're like a magic trick. And I was like, I'm going to give in to my feelings. So anyway, but no, me and Luke had the opportunity to run a pro wrestling television show and produce it for Fox Television. It was an ultimate dumpster fire disaster from flaming hell shit. And then after that, we were like, well, that was fun. And that everybody was mad at us at the end of it, even though me and Luke had a lot of fun making that television show.
We had a great time. Everybody hated us.
Yes. And so, which things haven't really changed much in the world.
Well, I think the kindest thing said about us on that for that TV show is these guys killed independent wrestling, and that was nice of people, and we did.
And hey, it came back.
But you guys killed it in independent wrestling.
Well, yeah, but and then I mean, I didn't think that me doing commentary for a match, acting like Mr. Rogers was a bad idea, but apparently everybody hated it. I didn't think that me, having to wrestle a match with a suppository in, and then the finish of the match was I had to run off and take a poop. I thought that was hilarious, but Knoxville was apparently like, no.
We were sponsored by that suppository.
Yeah, Rexlax. If you're still paying money, I'm still taking it.
Yeah. So I mean, we gotta send the check.
Stop.
And Amber, when did you come along?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I came in a few years later.
Okay.
I've known Vinny since I was like 20 years old. We worked together many, many years ago at a collection company. And we reconnected on social media. And they were getting ready to film the second movie, WJHCAM. And I was like, hey, do you need a curvy actress? And he was like, yeah, come on. And so I got in the first weekend and I just never left.
Nice.
And so I kind of, became like that growth that doesn't go away. They love me.
We got to work on your origin story. That's terrible.
Who's this?
I know. Well, listen.
Kandi Thompson.
Hey.
Kandi, can you hear us?
I think I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh my God. Stomp
All right.
twice.
Can you
for
guys
yes,
hear me?
Once for no. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear
Oh, you sound great, actually.
And you look good. What have you been
And
doing?
you look so good. God, we love you.
Thank you.
We are so in
It's
love
a
with you.
These
headset.
women are so
Man.
fucking beautiful. The host is hot,
I feel
too.
it. It's great.
All right, Kandi.
What?
We're doing introductions. We're talking
I
about
love your hat, Vinny. It's great.
Luke bought it for me.
Kandi, how did you come along
Nice.
with everybody?
I think Candy's on a little bit of a delay.
I met Vinny. I met Vinny and Travis when I helicopter in Pigeon.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
We have the worst luck with audio. Like
Well,
every single time.
we live in the South, man. They still, all this stuff's like taped and duct taped together and shit. I'll tell you how I met Kandi since she's frozen there.
Okay.
Kandi, so we walked. She used to work for a helicopter scenic tour thing, and we do a lot of comedy skits and stuff.
Where I currently play music on, it's called Scenic Helicopter Tours. I currently play music there on Saturdays from noon to 3 on 66 in Sevierville, Tennessee.
But used to, we used to do a lot of comedy sketches, and we wrote a sketch about, those things that like are the floppy armed giant nobody knows what the names of those things are. So we did a sketch. It's actually one of the few sketches that has me and Luke is in it, but it was me and Luke, me and Travis were going out, and we go into this place and we get, there she goes. I'm telling the story here where we met.
Thank you.
So that
I was trying
terrible.
to, but
you were like on a 20-second delay. So we go in and you're there and we're like, and I come in, you thought me and Travis were gay. Cause my first line was like, I represent a lot of beautiful boys that do a lot of skits or something like that. And you were like, oh, these are gay guys. And I was like, we want to go out there and dry hump your,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, that's not that. Boy, you tell you're from the 90s. Everybody used to say that he's gay. Not that every 90s jock in the world. Anyway, so we go out and there's this thing with the flailing arms, and we were like, we need to dry hump it for a sketch. And what did you say, Kandi? If you can hear me.
I think I was just like, go ahead. I'm not sure. Something to that effect.
Yep. And so we went out there and dry humped the thing, and it was a smash hit that garnered over 412 views on YouTube.
Yes.
An amazing sketch.
That was fabulous.
And then like later we became friends of yours on Facebook, and you were like Miss Plain Jane that day. You had your hair back and your glasses. And then I saw your pictures, and I was like, I messaged Travis. I was like, was that girl hot? And he goes, I don't think so. I said, check this shit out.
Jesus.
And then they brought me in on the conversation, and they're like, is this chick hot? And I was like, that's the hottest girl I've ever seen in my life. Yes.
I love you, Luke. You're my favorite.
And then we were like, this chick's hot. So anyway, we became friends. And goddamn, I love everybody here so much.
What was amazing about beyond the hotness of Kandi was we started talking to her, and she ended up being like one of the team immediately, because the way she can dish out shit, she's smarter than us. She's creative, and she's also an amazing singer. So it was like, this girl's one of us, isn't she? And we're all like, yeah. So she just started partaking in everything we did going on. And she had already worked in the world of paranormal. And so she fit perfectly into the Wrestling with Ghosts team.
That's awesome.
That was fun.
Now, I've been a lifelong fan of wrestling, like pro wrestling. First memory in life was Andre and Hogan at WrestleMania. I'm wearing a fucking Bruiser Brody shirt right now.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, and the owner of the Antisocial Network, which I'm a part of, him and one of the other co-producers, they're former wrestlers too. So that's pretty cool. It's weird how I find wrestlers. y'all just out here doing wild shit.
Well, there's a lot of parallels between the things we do between pro wrestling, movie making, and paranormal research. That it's all very like-minded. It's all very, like suspension of disbelief, and also, believing in things that other people don't. And we always use pro wrestlers in our movies because pro wrestlers are better. They can do their own stunts. They're used to performing. They're used to talking. They're used to also doing things in one take. When you're in front of, in East Tennessee, you're in front of like 20, 25 people, that are hot and you can't go.
Whoop, there he goes. Time out on the field. I'll finish his thought here, which is, it's a great point. Is pro wrestlers, you can ask them to do horrible things for cheap, and they'll do them. No questions asked. I need you to act like you're screwing this pig while this guy comes up and chops your head off for this movie. And they're like, well, do you want me on all fours?
I'll do it.
And I'm like, yeah.
And you'd be like, all right, we'll give you $20. And they're like, that's 3 times more than I made last night winning the heavyweight title in Maryville.
Nice. Yes.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So what are
And
some of
I
those?
found those similarities like with the wrestling with the band stuff. Like I thought it was like it's totally the same gimmick. I swear. Like all of it. It all blends in.
That's awesome.
What are you talking
Music,
about?
wrestling, and ghosts.
What are you talking about with what was similar?
Just the whole like there's a whole world involved with the wrestling and like the people that's in it, like the little players, like big
The
players
hierarchies.
sometimes. It's like a
Yeah.
hierarchy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same thing. Especially if you choose to be like local though. That's
Well,
kinda-
yeah, and in
that's what
paranormal
attracts me to
investigation, it's the same thing too. Is like everybody wants to try to be in a hierarchy when they're like, dude, we're
Yeah.
all just dorks standing
Let's
in a
just be
building.
dorks and have fun. Yeah,
Yeah, we're all
exactly.
dorks standing in a building talking to a flashlight. It's not, there's nobody.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
nobody better at it than anybody else.
No, it's so weird that there's even conflict in the paranormal like thing. Why is there conflict? Oh my God, they hunted a
Well-
ghost harder than I did, or like I don't even know.
What I've always said about it is like in music you have to train for years to perform.
Yeah,
In
totally.
in wrestling you have to train for years to perform. In paranormal, you just go, all right, I'm a paranormal investigator.
I got a flashlight and a black T-shirt.
And it's
We're
that
good.
black T-shirt's really tight. I got an engineer's hat.
I think-
Oh, speaking of T-shirts, look at this. Can you see it?
All right,
Can you see
Tracy.
it?
Oh, it's the hike.
Oh, it's the hike T-shirt.
Did
Hey,
you-
if
what
you
did you
want
call
to,
me?
hey, let me show you this. If you want to show your boobs,
No, stop
no,
it. Stop. No, don't.
This is Kirby Simon in our movies.
Oh man,
She shows her boobs.
I feel like you should be able to show your boobs, but apparently that's not.
Let's start it right
acceptable.
now, baby.
Amber, let's do it.
all right. So,
Woo!
so obviously,
Okay.
like aside from the paranormal investigation, which we're going to get to in a second, you guys are
Yes.
horror film movie makers. What going around the screen? What movie or movies got you into loving horror movies?
Oh.
Who's first?
You go. Hot hand.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
This one? Okay. I think what was unforgettable to me when I was a kid was The Crow. I freaking love The Crow. There was something about The Crow and it shaped my whole like writing style and everything like that. Just that movie, I love the grittiness about it, and that's why I always like Rob Zombie movies. And I do feel like Luke and Vinny have like a Rob Zombie-esque thing going on, and I love the grittiness. And I think all of our characters are kind of like raw and like unpolished, and I like that too. But yeah, The Crow was one of my favorite. I was like 11, I think, when that came out, and that was like what made me like that type of horror movie.
That hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry.
All right, Luke.
That
you wanna go
facts
next?
is facts, bro. What are you gonna do about it? Come through the screen and do something?
He's
500
gonna
miles
power
away.
Well, me, I was way too young. I was about 6 years old when Poltergeist came out, and
I
my
didn't have a TV, bro. Continue. I'm sorry.
is as lovely as a woman as my mom is. She took me to see Poltergeist in the Tivoli Theater in Downers Grove, Illinois, and I fell in love with it. And then a couple years later, Evil Dead 2 is really what shaped me. As two movies that came out pretty close to the same time as Evil Dead 2 and Clerks. And that's what those two movies really shaped how I wanted to make movies.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. Amber, what about you?
Mine
Mine was Aladdin. I thought Aladdin was scary, and
Oh my
when they were
gosh,
flying on the
yes.
carpet, I was like,
No.
ah.
Oh my gosh, Shafar was just terrifying. No.
Indeed.
No, I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street whenever I was like 7 years old. And that movie was just fascinating to me. Like that was like the ultimate bad guy, the epitome of like the evil entity because you can't escape him. And so That to me is probably my favorite horror movie that got me into loving horror films. But I really love 80s slashers films. I'm not as poetic as the rest of the people, so that's all
I
I'm
thought
gonna
you
say.
did very well.
Don't
I like
start with the
I
low
like that movie too. I did watch that when I was like really small. I remember I went to my neighbor's house and
Oh,
She went to her neighbor's house and was murdered.
Yeah.
Vinny, what movie got you into horror movies?
You know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you. I want to make movies. I'm a comedian, and I like making funny shit. And to me, the reason that we make horror movies, I think, is because I like horror movies. Don't get me wrong, and I do. But they have the best audience. The number one audience for any genre are horror movie fans. You don't have a contingency of comedian fans that sit around and go, "Did you watch Stripes last night? Oh my God, The Hangover 3." It's everybody loves, and so it's like I want to cater to these people who actually love a genre. And comedy to me and humor have a lot in common. How you play with tenses and the tension and how you resolve tension. And I think Jordan Peele is kind of
absolutely. I was just thinking about him. Totally.
I think he kind of exhibits the fact that this is something you can play with, being a comedian first and going over. And
well, and that's also what we do with our paranormal stuff. Is we like to go from ha ha to huh as quickly as possible. You know, it's
yes. And I think there's if you're real, you know, fear is real, and people laughing is natural. Nobody has to think about laughing; it just happens. And fear is the same way. And so you kind of play with the same emotions and parts of the human brain like that. And I think that's what, when Luke and I started making these movies with everybody else, and there's another guy named Travis Graves, and we have like 80 other people that are helpers and stuff. But when we all started doing this, we were like, let's make these movies where people enjoy these human beings and they want to laugh with them and feel like they're friends of theirs or people that they know. And then when we start killing these motherfuckers off, people will care more, because it seems like in a lot of horror movies, the people that just get waxed or greased are the vapid morons nobody would want to talk to in the first place. You're kind of pulling for the bad guy.
Right. Yeah. So I completely agree. And I'm going to hit on that point of laughter and fear. The movie that got me into horror movies, I absolutely fucking love horror movies. If I had to choose any genre to watch, it would be horror movies every single day. And twice on Sunday. The movie that got me into it was the Blair Witch Project, and that was because I grew up. I lived 20 minutes from Burkittsville. I drive past the sign whenever I go pick my girlfriend up from work. It scares the dog shit out of me still, and I have fear of the woods at night. Like, there is nothing about it. And like the playing on the emotions, right? Like they get lost in the woods and they start losing their map and their compass, and you're like, oh, pieces of shit, you should have had your shit taken care of, right? And then you turn around and people start disappearing, and then that's when the fear sets in. And so
people dump on that. Yeah, people dump on that movie still to this day, and I don't get it. The movie was brilliant and it was terrifying.
Great.
That movie was
great.
Terrifying.
I watched it a month ago just to see, you know, because sometimes things don't hold up. And it still did a good job with the scary parts. Yeah. The shaky camera thing on a giant screen television may induce vomiting, but everything else, the acting was good. It was low budget as shit. But it still was creepy as shit. I mean, can you imagine being in the darkness and you hear your friend in the distance going, "Help!" Yeah. You'd just be sitting there going, "I don't know what to fucking do. I need to go help them because Jesus told me out of my heart to go help our better day." But as soon as I walk out there, somebody's going to have a stick and go, "Boink, you're next."
Well, and I'm in the major minority of horror movie lovers that I love us. It's a little fruity. Enthusiast.
No, that's the Jerky Boys game show thing. You got that.
It's a little fruity. I'm more of an enthusiast. No, but I love found footage movies. I love them. As Above, So Below is probably one of the better movies I've seen.
Have you seen Deadstream?
I have not.
Oh my God, you have to watch it.
No, the first two Paranormal Activities were great. There's this terrible movie called Grave Encounters that I love that movie. But I
The
love
second
terrible
one was
movies.
The
Yeah.
second Grave Encounters was shit, but the first
Yeah,
one was
well, they tried to do too much of the second one, but that first one, and it said I started watching. I'm like, wait a minute, they're ripping on Ghost Adventures here. This is great, and then it legitimately got to be a scary, just nonstop scary movie, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I said I love found footage movies, man. There's been some great ones, and I always wanted to do a found footage movie. That what's that other movie I love? 1931. Was it 1931? That's like all. It looks like it's all one shot.
1937. You talking about
1930? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
movie. Okay.
it's an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, 1917. It looks like it's all one shot. I was like, man, I would love to do a found footage like that, where it's just you turn the camera on and an hour and 20 minutes.
God,
I would.
so tough. That'd be so tough.
Yeah. Well, you do creative edits.
I
Hire good
love
actors.
I love found footage movies, but I love everything from it. I love the gore. I love all of it. And one of my most recent favorite ones is fucking Terrifier. Have you guys seen Terrifier?
I want to so bad. It's just one of those that it's like I got to get in the mood for something like that because everybody says it's so gross and everything, and it's one of those you got to get in the mood for.
Yeah, it was definitely a movie that I went into unprepared, and when I was done watching it, I just sat there for like 10 minutes staring at the screen like, what the fuck did I just watch? But
it's
over
like
time, it became my favorite.
That's like The Mist. The Mist was a great adaptation of the Stephen King short story, and they changed only one thing. They changed the ending. And when that movie was over, I sat there looking at my TV screen for like half hour going, what the hell, man? That was the best thing I've ever seen, but I was legitimately disturbed. So it's like I can't rewatch The Mist knowing that ending. It's like I have to prepare myself for it,
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Oh.
So Luke, you mentioned Ghost Adventures with Grave Encounters. I used to watch it. Now I think it's a fucking joke. What are your
Well, me and Vinny used to always talk about Ghost Adventures was the best comedy on television.
Yes.
You got some jacked dude bro walking around. But now I will tell you, their movie, the original movie that started them, was great.
Fantastic.
And then they became the Dude Bro Network, where everything the cameraman, what was his name, Aaron. It was just everything. You'd hear.
Oh, time out. Got to reset. Throw the penalty flag. 15 yards for bad signal. Repeat second down. But yeah, okay, he's back. Are you back?
But yeah, but and then Zach would just he'd get walk in a room with his tight black shirt on and skipping leg day, and he'd be like, "Oh, come at me, bro, ghost, come at me," and then something would
then he's like suddenly
make a noise
every time.
Yeah. And then he'd run out of the room after like a lamp fell over or something. And I was just like, dude, it's just so funny. It's the best comedy on TV.
They should call it Zach Bagans Gets Possessed.
Yes.
Zach Bagans is a bitch. So I had a Catholic exorcist on for my October stuff, and in the midst of the conversation, I actually found out that he went to the house that Zach Bagans bought and then ultimately had destroyed to put in the fucking museum. And so one of my questions was, "Hey, that demon house that Zach Bagan bought, what is your impression of it?" And he was like, "I didn't feel a fucking thing when I walked in there."
Well, we've done that. We've done that at places too, where this is the most haunted place in the world, and then we walk in there like,
yeah,
dead.
Okay, but is it?
But now, like, my theory is that every place is technically kind of haunted. So maybe it's just whatever attaches to you at the time. But I've walked in, like you said, been like, you've got an attachment. This is not haunted.
Well, yeah, and that's a lot of these places, and we do it too. Like, it tends to be with me and Vinny get together. This little spirit that we picked up named Megan will follow us everywhere we go. And so it's like you got to think of hauntings like that, or is it ghosts that are there or ghosts that come with you? Yeah.
I actually formulated my own opinion. I'm not an investigator or anything, and I'll be the first to include say that. But what I've noticed is that investigators that go in there with the right intentions, they're going to get the experience that they asked for. But if they go in there with the bad intentions, they're going to get that experience that they asked for as well.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about that?
I know.
Oh, totally. I think that you manifest it.
I think there's such a thing as coolers. I think there are people who go in and they're like, I don't believe in this shit, and nobody feels nothing.
You have a picture of one of those kind of people, don't you, on your phone?
Well, let me show you. This is now. There is a picture of this girl here that I want to show everybody. Like, you're talking about a mother feeding.
Would you stop?
Right there. That's Julie and I, and
Oh my God.
eating there.
I thought it was going to be something totally different.
Oh, you want to see that? Hold on a second.
No,
No, we're good.
No.
All right, Amber, what do you feel about it? What do you feel about that statement? Not about the picture, about the statement.
Oh, I'm lost. Hold on. No, but I really do think the people that you bring with you really affect what you can feel. There's a lot of people who are empaths, and they can kind of feel those energies. And like Vinny said, there are people that are coolers that can come in and like it just kills whatever energy's in that room. And I think what's unique with our group is most of us have like this energy about us already, that whenever we go in, our chemistry already kind of elevates it to a different level. And so we get some really interesting experiences just because Vinny's usually stripping, trying to, seduce a female ghost.
With Fluff Mountain on his chest.
Yeah.
Fluff Mountain.
That's the other thing too. We're all goddamn beautiful too. That's the other thing. We're just really good looking. So I think the ghosts want to talk to us. That's
a big plus. That is a massive plus.
Well, we are a positive energy team. We don't believe in walking into a place, and provoking and things like that. We believe that, like if there's really a ghost in a house, which we don't even know what ghosts are.
With your grandmother, so.
Yeah, but no, we feel that
it's like bad subtitles or like dubbing.
That's a whole different language.
He lives on a compound out there waiting for the government to come take his guns.
If you walk into somebody's house and you're friendly and fun, they're going to come hang out with you. If you walk in there like an asshole, they're going to hide from you.
Yeah,
totally.
Very true.
That's so true.
So going around the screen, starting with Vinny, what is your favorite place that you've investigated?
I'll tell you, man. And I was on a podcast last week. I said the same thing. If Wrestling with Ghosts, which is our show that is on Asai TV, if that was world famous, which we've almost been world famous 6 times, and they lied to us every time, and everything fell to pieces. But if our shows from the town of La Follette, Tennessee, got out into the ether, that would be you know how everybody talks about that town in West Virginia where the Mothman is or something? There would be ghost hunters all over La Follette, Tennessee, because every effing place downtown is haunted. We filmed a movie there, and there was freaking stuff happening with it when we were trying to shoot the movie at this television station. And so Luke and I did. They had a place called the Old La Follette Post Office. We ran into our first poltergeist. And then right next door there was
puppy.
That's a cute animal. And then we ran into a little girl spirit that left footprints on the floor. I mean, so much evidence. Like, some of these people are like, oh, we got a couple EVPs. I mean, in those places, dude, we had everything: moved objects, footprints, full body apparitions, stuff thrown, names called, people touched, doors slammed. I mean, these places up here. And so the third episode was like at an antiques place, and then the post office, and really the whole town is stuff's happening down there. They have they don't even like talking about that they're trying to sell. And there's a guy up there named Alan Miller does this ghost walk around, during the fall. And he ends with that house, and they hate it because they can't sell it. But the stories he tells there are horrifying about smoke going across the yard and picking people up and pinning them against the roof and shit.
And I mean, that house is easily a $5 million house, and they can't sell it for $1.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and me and Luke have been up there. We've been a ghost guest speaker on a guest tour, a guest speaker on a ghost tour up there. And we saw a freaking chick with a damn candle walk by the damn window.
Holy shit.
And unless they put the work in, and Alan pulled the big sucker born every minute flim flam up there. Luke and I were the only two people that saw it. I mean, it was like watching a damn Ring to see a little girl with a candle go by the window. And I'm like, what the hell? So anyway, that's La Follette, Tennessee. If anybody's watching this, it's an investigator that's got wheels and they want to roll, contact Alan Miller, Ghost Walk, La Follette.
2 L's, ALLAN, Alan Miller.
An LL and an N. And so contact him and he may be able to take you in a couple of them buildings down there. Now, I know Alan, he's a perv. He is going to try to grope you. So just always stay about 2 feet away from him.
Don't talk about my silverback gorilla like that. I love that man.
That silver fox, a handsome freaking man, I'll tell you.
He is a good looking man.
He is.
What about you, Luke? Where would you say your favorite location is?
Exact same place. That post office was insane, but only about maybe 100 feet away from it was the toy store where we got our little attachment Megan, and the story of that whole moment where we're walking through this place and then all of a sudden there's muddy footprints on the ground, little girl's footprints. And then Vinny sits down and starts talking to her and you hear responses. And then like at investigation for years, she talked and played. We tell her to leave us alone before we go into a place. It's like, Megan, stay out here,
Yeah, that's wild. That's pretty awesome. Kandi, what about you? What's your favorite place you've investigated?
Oh man. My favorite place, there's such levels because there's like my favorite place for ghost reasons and there's my favorite place for like visual reasons. So for visual reasons, I would have to say the Indian cave that we went and did with Wrestling with Ghosts. Just because I had a unique experience there before we did the Wrestling with Ghosts, where I saw like these natives. So like I saw visual apparitions. So that was pretty cool. But my favorite, I think that I've ever done, it with Wrestling with Ghosts. Just because I kind of like, I've known this place for a long time, is a place called Cedar Lane Farms. And I've experienced a lot of really weird stuff there, including like dreams after I left and like just absolutely crazy stuff, and multiple people like kind of assuring the things that I've found out like through the history and stuff of that place. But I caught some like really cool EVPs there on my YouTube channel, Kandi Thompson. And so
nice plug, asshole.
Well, but anyway, so that one is actually on there and it has a lot of evidence on that, and it's called Cedar Lane Farms, and nobody really knows about that place. And I did my own research, and the guy like that owned it had like slaves. He had his own money that he paid them with, and then they turned around and like bought his stuff from his own store with his own money. So I was like, Jesus, that guy, like, there had to be some kind of energy there, but there definitely was. But yeah, that's like 2 of my favorite places, I think.
What city was that in? Cedar Lane Farm.
That is in Loris, South Carolina. I think it's more like it's a community out there, but I can't remember the name of the community. Bayboro. Yeah, Bayboro.
Horrifying.
Sorry. Horrifying.
Terrifying.
Communities are always weird.
Fear-inducing.
Amber, what about you? What was your favorite place you've investigated?
So I really enjoyed doing the Devil's Circle. It was a cemetery, and we were standing around this tombstone, and I was kind of outside of the circle, and Luke was actually at the tombstone with the camera.
Hold on a second, I gotta get a picture. I gotta get a picture. Look at you with the nerd look.
Are you still pooping, Travis?
I wanted to take these off before I got here because I knew Vinny would say something, but
you look great. You look great, sir.
Are you still pooping? Are you still pooping?
Right now, actually, yes.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey, I want to show you a picture of somebody's bodily.
No.
Would you stop it with the
Amber, continue your story.
Okay. Anyway, so So Luke was at the tombstone and he was holding the camera and he had just taken the camera from me and put the headset on. And I felt this presence walk behind me, like there was a person behind me. And just at the same time, Luke stopped and looked at me and said, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Something behind you went, Amber." Like, right, and like he heard it. He like made eye contact with me. I was like, "Oh shit, someone knows my name." So that was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Travis, we're talking about favorite places that we've investigated. Where's your favorite place you've investigated?
The La Follette post office was a
See?
trip. I don't know if either Vinny or Luke said that too, but that place.
Yeah, we both said it.
Yeah, I tell people to this day. I tell people it's the most haunted place on the planet.
Nice.
That's exactly what I said. I said
Yeah.
if we were famous, there would be ghost hunters galore down there. They could open up like a ghost cheeseburger shop 24 hours a day.
That place was so insane that when we were done filming, we're sitting around just talking in the middle. It's like 30 feet.
Damn it. Luke's never gonna get a point across.
Well, anyway, I know what he's going to say. So, like,
Never.
we were sitting around taking pictures and shit for the TV show. And, like, and Travis, you probably remember this too. Like, 3 stories up, you heard, and there's no way in the world a human being could do this because this was a big, inside the post office is pretty big. You just heard this thump, 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 thump. And we all turned around and went, "Would you stop? We're exhausted."
We're filming. We want to go home.
Yeah, we want to go home. Cut it out. We know you're haunted. Woo! And I bet the ghost was up there like,
Yes.
that's never happened before.
After the third time something yelled my name out, I literally was shook and ran out of the building.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
following him around going, Luke. And he just on the third time, he was like, F this. And then Luke is 7
Wow.
feet, almost 7 feet tall. So, I mean, when he starts running, everybody's like, get the hell out of the way.
It's like a fucking freight train.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up, I'll let you guys plug whatever you guys want to plug, and I'll be here and I'll listen. We're gonna start with Vinny, as long as it's not the picture, Vinny.
Well, I do have a serious picture. I do think, is it Breastfeeding Awareness Month?
Stop
Because
it.
if it is,
Every month
I
is
think every
breastfeeding awareness
mom
month.
deserves a tiramisu. Anyway, so it's delicious.
Oh my god.
God. Jesus Lord.
Hey, so we do a bunch of stuff, and I thought if we all got on at the same time, we just tell the podcast guy to take a break, and we could have a meeting about what we need to do. But we do need to have a wrestling with Ghost.
Let's do
we do
it.
need to have a revival, and I do want. I think one of the good episodes we could do is all the places we filmed that have been haunted. We could go do an episode where we go to each place, like it's kind of our movie Wrestling with Ghosts, where we go to all these spots where we've heard EVPs and things have happened,
Yeah.
and that have been in our films. For example, we're about to have a movie come out in October called Camp Smokey, which stars Big Luke and another friend of ours named Brittany, and then we're all in the movie because we're kind of like that. And but at the very end of the movie, and I'll give you a little bit of a hint, it's got a false ending. And if you wait till the credits go off, there's another thing that kind of shows a little bit more of what happens in this movie, Camp Smokey. The girls are coming out of a building, and I swear to God, and it's a scary scene and all that stuff, you hear an EVP that goes, help, of a girl. And I decided to leave that in the movie because that's creepy as hell. And why not? And it may be something for people to do. So if anybody watches the big and funky movie that's coming out called Camp Smokey, stay to the end and try to see if you can hear the EVP that shoots through at the very end of the film. We also have a shindig on the 13th in October in Knoxville at a place that we filmed a movie called Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure with a production company called Sci TV. But anyway, we're premiering Camp Smokey, our horror movie, and our road comedy, Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure, which pretty much all of us were in or were at least invited to be in. And Luke's going to be playing music, and we're going to have stand-up comedians. It's going to be at the Chatterbox bar in Knoxville, so check that out. So that's my shit.
Nice. Luke, what you got?
BigNFunkyProductions.com for all of our information. BigNFunkyProductions.com. You should be able to see all of our movies, The Hike, WJHCAM, and Camp Smokey on Plex, Tubi, and Amazon, and a bunch of other places. We're trying to get on Shudder. Also,
we just got on Fossum, Flaccid, Fossum Flat Ass, Fossum Horror, Fossum.
But Big N Funky Productions, Big N Funky Productions. Also, that's our YouTube channel. But yeah, that's the central place to go to find out all the stupid shit we're doing.
All right. Travis, what you got to plug, man?
Everything they said. On top of that, just for me personally, October 7th, I have a wrestling show at ICWA in Morristown. Follow me on all socials at Gordo Gringo #1. That's pretty much all I got. And then everything that they said too. Oh, they're on that side. I'm sorry. Everything they said. I'm back.
Andy, what you got?
Everything they said also, but I have a YouTube channel, the Kandi Thompson, where I do like everything, a little bit of everything, a lot of supernatural stuff, paranormal, ghost hunting, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Do you do this? Let me show you a picture of what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Amber, what you got for us?
You are a new mother.
So everything that they said, plus we also just got a merch shop up and running. We have t-shirts and stickers, and that is pretty awesome. I'm really excited. Will you stop? No,
I can't stop it. It's like one of those heavy doors.
Stop.
Right.
He
oh my
can't.
God.
Pantheon.
Anyway,
It's moving on its own.
it's like a toddler. If you ignore him, he'll eventually go away.
Oh, you want to see a toddler?
Oh,
Let me show you something that's very young, about the age of 4, is what I'm going to show you right here. Here's
Oh my God.
Timo.
Oh,
Oh
so
my
sweet,
God.
so sweet.
Yeah.
So anyway,
All right.
I also have a YouTube channel called Funny Freed and a Facebook page also under the same name where I advocate for people coming out of religious trauma. So
nice.
you can check that out there too.
That's awesome. I want to
Can I say
take a
one more
moment.
thing and I'll stop?
What?
I'm sorry. These are my favorite people on the planet. And if a bomb hit right now, I'd be very sad, except I'd also be dead, so never mind.
And,
We're not in the
Beautiful.
same place.
and if I'm not wrong, this has been the first time that you guys have all been collectively in the same place in a long time.
Yeah, about
Yes.
20 years.
Yes.
It's
Too
like
long.
Somebody always
Oh
flipped out
man,
like
I feel the love. I
Yeah,
miss you
that's
guys.
That's awesome. All right, so I want to take a moment and thank the Big and Funky crew for coming to hang out. Thank you guys for sharing your experience. Cut
you
cut
for
the
having us.
bullshit, having a little bit of fun. You guys are awesome. I had a great time.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. And until next time, everyone, you guys be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is a lot. Much love.
I don't know how to leave.